the Fever rookie.
Oh, history for the Fever rookie. They say records are meant to be broken, but nobody told Caitlin Clark she had to break 62 of them in one season, from scoring to assists, from Indiana Fever franchise records to league-wide history. Clark didn't just enter the WNBA, she turned it upside down. But what exactly are these 62 records, and how did she manage to set them all? Make no mistake, Caitlin Clark is doing things beyond her years. Imagine this: a packed arena, fans on the edge of their seats, and Caitlin.
No mistake, Caitlin Clark is doing things beyond.
Clark dishing out her 19th assist of the game. Caitlin decided not to shoot Mitchell will hits. That's right, 19 assists in a single WNBA game, a feat never before accomplished. The crowd erupts, teammates rush to embrace her, and just like that, history is made. Guess what? That was just one of 62 records Clark shattered in her debut season. How is that even possible? When Clark entered the WNBA, expectations were sky high, but no one could have predicted the storm she'd unleash from day one. She didn't just meet those expectations, she obliterated them. Before we break it down, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And now we're about to uncover the incredible story of how one rookie superstar changed the game forever. She's playing really well, she's shooting the hell out of the ball, and she's making sure she's finding those open players. She had some amazing assists tonight. Clark's debut season wasn't just about shattering expectations, it was about rewriting the record.
Caitlin decided not to shoot. Mitchell will
entirely remember that 19 assist game. Turns out her scoring feats were even more mind-blowing. How many 30-point games does it take to set a franchise record for Caitlin Clark? The answer was more than anyone's ever seen before. From the moment she stepped onto the WNBA court, Clark made it clear she wasn't just here to play, she was here to dominate in a league known for its high-caliber talent. Clark's scoring ability stood out like a beacon. She reached her 100th point in just 8 games. Faster than any freshman in WNBA history, but Clark was just getting started. As the season progressed, Clark's scoring consistency became almost superhuman. She racked up 30-point games like they were going out of style, setting a new franchise record for the Indiana Fever. Each game, fans held their breath, wondering if this would be the night Clark would outdo herself again. This is an Iverson cut over 2 screeners, then there's a pin down, then there's a chase, then there's a double contest, all to get
really well. She's shooting the hell out of the ball, and she's making sure she's finding those open players. She had some amazing assists.
Shot that is not easy work, but she makes it look like slight work. Wasn't just about individual games. Clark's scoring prowess throughout the season was nothing short of historic. She blazed past milestones that had stood for years. In just 10 games, she became the fastest player to record 150-plus points, 50-plus rebounds, and 50-plus assists. By game 12, she had 200-plus points and 50-plus assists, and in a mere 19 games she hit 300-plus points, 100-plus rebounds, and 100-plus assists. Clark's ability to score from anywhere on the court forced opposing teams to completely rethink their defensive strategies. Double teams became the norm, with defenders sticking to her like glue. But here's the thing, even with all that attention, Clark kept finding ways to score. About my school experience, this defensive focus on Clark opened up opportunities for her teammates. Suddenly players like Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hall, and Kelsey Mitchell found themselves with more open.
Iverson cut over 2 screeners, then there's a pin down, then there's a chase, then there's a double contest, all to get this shot. That is not easy work, but she makes it look like
chances. Clark's gravity on the court made everyone around her better, turning the Indiana Fever into a formidable offensive threat. As the season wore on, Clark's three-point shooting became the stuff of legend. She set the rookie record for most three-pointers made in a season, showcasing a range that had defenders shaking their heads in disbelief. Austin had her 11th double-double of the season, and Clark hits a 3, but perhaps the most jaw-dropping moment came when Clark set a record for the most points scored or assisted in a single game. With a total of 66 points scored or assisted, she showed that her impact went far beyond just putting the ball in the hoop herself. Clark was orchestrating an offensive symphony, and the entire league was her audience. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now back to the action. Then to go with her, Tiss is able to slip to the mid-range to knock down a nice bunny, so she's able to not only score herself, but she's distributing the ball. But last but not least, while Clark's scoring grabbed headlines, her true magic happened when the ball left her hands. How many assists does it take to shatter a franchise record? How about a league-wide one for Clark? It was a number that left commentators speechless. Remember that 19 assist game we mentioned earlier, it wasn't just a flash in.
Austin had her 11th double-double of the season, and Clark hits it.
The Pan Clark's ability to set up her teammates became the cornerstone of her debut season. She reached 50 assists in just 8 games, the fastest any rookie had ever hit that mark, but Clark was just warming up as the season progressed. Clark's passing prowess reached new heights. She hit 100 assists in 12 games and 200 assists in 26 games, tying for the fastest in WNBA history. These weren't just empty numbers, they were game changers. She knows how to lay it out on a dime. Her court vision is impeccable, and now her teammates are ready to catch the ball. They trust she's going to get it where it needs to be. But y'all, the favorite part of my game from Caitlin Clark is this behind the back pass. Come on now, I love it, and that wasn't just one time. She does that on a frequent and drops it right there perfect to Aaliyah Boston. So let me just sprinkle in, because you mentioned AB, 2 of those highlights I believe were a Clark-Boston connection.
To go with her, Dantas is able to slip to the mid-range to knock down a nice bunny. So she's able to not only score herself, but she's distributing the ball. But
those two have been the second best scoring duo in the league behind Asia Wilson and Jackie Young. Clark's court vision transformed the Indiana Fever's offense. Aaliyah Boston found herself on the receiving end of pinpoint passes leading to easy buckets in the paint. Lexi Hull's three-point shooting percentage skyrocketed as Clark consistently found her for open looks, and Kelsey Mitchell, she thrived off Clark's ability to draw defenders and dish out at the perfect moment. Clark's impact went beyond individual games. She became the first rookie in WNBA history to record multiple games with 20-plus points and 10-plus assists. This dual-threat capability forced defenses to constantly adjust, opening up opportunities for her teammates as the season wore on. Clark's playmaking ability became the stuff of legend. She set a new league record for assists in a single game with that mind-blowing 19-assist performance, but even more impressive was her consistency. Game after game, Clark found ways to elevate.
She knows how to lay it out on a dime. Her court vision is impeccable, and now her teammates are ready to catch the ball. They trust she's going to get it where it needs to be. But y'all, the favorite part of my game from Caitlin Clark is this behind the back pass. Come on now. I love it. I love it. And that wasn't just one time. She does that on a frequent and drops it right there. Perfect to Aaliyah Boston.
So let me just sprinkle in, because you mentioned AB. 2 of those highlights, I believe, were a Clark-Boston connection. Those 2 have been the second best scoring duo in the league behind Asia Wilson and
performances. Thence at home, Clark pushing Mitchell backdoor lays it in. The numbers tell a story of dominance, but they don't capture the full picture. Clark's passes weren't just accurate, they were creative. Behind the back dimes, no-look assists, and cross-court lasers became regular features in Fever games. Fans started coming to the arena just to see what kind of magic Clark would conjure up next. Clark's assist totals didn't just impact individual games, they changed the entire trajectory of the Fever season. The team's offensive ratings soared, and suddenly Indiana was in the playoff conversation. By season's end, Clark had set the record for most point-assist double-doubles by a rookie in WNBA history, but perhaps her most impressive feat was finishing the season with the most assists in a single season in WNBA history, with 337, shattering the one set last year by Alyssa Thomas of 316. In just 1 year, Clark had established herself as one of the all-time great playmakers.
Thanks at home. Clark pushing. Mitchell backdoor lays it in.
6 of 17 outside of Mitchell, but she's open. It's Clark's passing prowess left the league in awe, but her next feat would redefine expectations entirely. What happens when a first-year player achieves something no one in league history ever had? The answer would shock even the most seasoned WNBA veterans. On a warm summer Indiana evening, with the Fever locked in a tight game against the New York Liberty, Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court with determination in her eyes. Little did anyone know they were about to witness history unfold. As the final buzzer sounded, Clark had etched her name in the record books, once again becoming the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double. The stat line was jaw-dropping: 19 points, 13 assists, and 12 rebounds. But it wasn't just the numbers that impressed, it was the way Clark controlled every aspect of the game. She weaved through defenders with ease, found teammates with pinpoint passes, and somehow always seemed to be in the right place.
6 of 17 outside of Mitchell, but she's open.
For crucial rebounds, triple-doubles are a rare achievement for any player, let alone a first player. To put it in perspective, some of the greatest players in WNBA history never managed to accomplish this feat in their entire careers. Yet here was Clark, barely into her professional journey, already rewriting the history books. She was the first rookie in WNBA history to achieve a triple-double and the first ever player in Indiana Fever franchise history ever. But Clark wasn't content with just one. Historic performance. She was so good she did it a second time against the Los Angeles Sparks. 24 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds throughout the season. She flirted with triple-doubles on multiple occasions, coming tantalizingly close time and time again. It's up, it won't go. Clark pulls it down, and this building knows what that means. Clark's versatility forced the Indiana Fever to adapt their entire game plan with a player who could score, pass and rebound at an elite level. The team had a Swiss Army knife they could deploy in any situation. Opposing teams found themselves in a state of confusion, never quite sure how to defend against a player who could beat you in so many ways. As the season progressed, Clark's all-around dominance became the norm rather than the exception. Her ability to fill up every column of the stat sheet night after night left fans and analysts scrambling for comparisons. Was she the next triple-double machine? A point guard with the rebounding skills of a forward, or
First rookie in WNBA history, you see it right there, to record a triple.
Something entirely new that the WNBA had never seen before. The impact of Clark's play extended far beyond individual games. Her triple-double and near triple-double performances became must-see TV, drawing in casual fans and basketball purists alike. Social media exploded with highlights of Clark's latest feats, spreading her influence far beyond the confines of WNBA arenas. Clark passes Guess Who Diana to Rosie. Reality is coming. She's reality by season's end. Clark's averages told the story of her unprecedented freshman campaign. She finished the year average ING 19.2 points, 8.4 assists and 5.
It's up, it won't go, Clark pulls it down, and this building knows
per game. These weren't just good numbers, they were elite numbers for any player in the league. To put these averages in context, Clark found herself among the league leaders in points and outright leading the league in assists and three-pointers for the season. Her scoring placed her in the top echelon of WNBA scorers. Her assists marked her as one of the premier playmakers in the game, and her rebounding numbers were up there for a guard. CL season averages didn't just set her apart from her freshman class, they put her in the conversation with the best players in the WNBA. Regardless of experience, veterans who had been dominating the league for years suddenly found themselves looking over their shoulders at the newcomer who was threatening their status. As Clark's star rose, so did the hopes of a franchise mired in mediocrity. What happens when you injected generational talent?
Clark passes Guess Who Diana Taurasi. Reality's coming.
Into a team that hasn't seen the playoffs in nearly a decade. The Indiana Fever were about to find out, and the outcome would leave fans breathless. Which teams would I not want to see in the playoffs? And that's where you brought up the Fever. I think the Fever had been struggling for years, missing the playoffs since 2016. Their recent seasons were a far cry from the glory days of Tama Catchings, but all that was about to change with the arrival of Caitlin Elizabeth Clark. From the moment Clark stepped onto the court, the energy around the team shifted. Suddenly every Fever game became must-see TV. Fans who had long since given up hope started filling the stands again, eager to witness the Caitlin Clark effect firsthand. As the season progressed, the Fever's improvement was undeniable. Games that would have been blowout losses in previous years became nail-biting victories. Clark's ability to create scoring opportunities for herself and her teammates kept opponents on their toes. The Fever's
would I not want to see in the playoffs? And that's where you brought up the Fever.
Transformation wasn't just happening on the court. Attendance numbers soared, with fans packing the arena to catch a glimpse of Clark's magic. Media attention reached levels the franchise hadn't seen in years. Suddenly the Indiana Fever were back in the national spotlight as the wins started piling up. Something incredible happened. The Fever, a team that had been an afterthought in playoff discussions for years, found themselves in the thick of the postseason race. With each game, the impossible began to feel more and more achievable, but to me the numbers bear it out. They've been on terrific tear since the All-Star break, but it also looks like they're playing with joy. When the dust settled on the regular season, the Fever had done the unthinkable. A 2020 record might not seem earth-shattering, but for a team that won just 5 games 2 years ago, it was nothing short of miraculous. More importantly, it was enough to secure a playoff berth, ending their 7-year postseason drought. The impact of
The numbers bear it out. They've been on terrific tear since the All-Star break, but it also looks like they're playing with joy.
Freshman season went far beyond the win column. She became the face of a new era in women's basketball, representing a shift in how young female athletes are perceived and celebrated in professional sports. For jersey sales skyrocketed, and her highlights dominated social media. To truly appreciate the Clark effect, consider this: in the 2023 season, the Fever averaged just over 4,000 fans per home game, with Clark leading the charge in 2024 that blew up to at least 177,000 per home game. And every time the Indiana Fever were in town, opponents had to book bigger arenas to cater for fans. The Fever weren't just winning games, they were winning back the hearts of basketball fans across Indiana and beyond. Clark's influence extended to the broader WNBA landscape. Television ratings for Fever games soared, and the league saw a surge in overall interest. Young girls across the country were picking up basketballs, dreaming of becoming the next Caitlin Clark's debut season wasn't just impressive, it was historic. With 62 records shattered, she's built a compelling case for MVP. From her league-leading assists to her game-changing triple-doubles, Clark redefined what's possible for a first player. But Clark's impact goes beyond the numbers. She transformed the Indiana Fever from a struggling team to playoff contenders. Her leadership on the court elevated her teammates, turning the Fever into one of the most dynamic offenses in the league. Off the court, Clark's influence has been just as profound. Skyrocketing attendance, record-breaking jersey sales, and a surge in media attention have put the WNBA in the spotlight like never before. Clark's first season hasn't just set new benchmarks, it's changed the entire landscape of women's basketball, inspiring a new generation of players and fans alike. And the greatest part, we get to watch history unfold every day. Let us know in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out on the latest news. Click the video on the screen and we will see you in the next one.